Welcome, colleagues. George Sloan, Myford University. This is the Myford University podcast, episode 47. So, how do you make the most of a rainy weekend? Or 3 simple and smart ways to up your game on a rainy weekend. Welcome back to the Myford University podcast, where we don't wait for the world to give us permission. We take action, build leverage, and make moves that matter. So let me ask you something. What do most people do when it rains all weekend? I'll give you a moment. The answer, for most, nothing useful. They sit around, they binge watch a series, maybe they order some takeout on top, they complain about the weather, and they pretend it's rest, quote unquote, when it's really avoidance. But that's not you, and it's not me. I love a rainy or snowy weekend once in a while because I make the most of it, and I'm sure you do too. And if you don't know how, we're going to share with you how to do that today. So today I'm going to give you 3 simple and smart weekend ideas. Each one is designed to help you grow in knowledge, skill, and real-world application, which is what we're all about around here. In just 48 hours, you can do what most people never do in 48 weeks. Level up. And I'm not kidding about this. I do this quite often. I will pound out skills, knowledge, and I do it in a weekend. Just want to take a brief moment. Please sign up for the podcast. Sign up for the email list. There'll be certain things that you can get. I will give to the folks that are on the mailing list. And please subscribe to the Myford University YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, give it a like and give it a share. We always say, don't keep us a secret. All right, so let's dive in. What's one of the first things you can do? You want to build your personal operating system. Let's start with your mind. Most people are overwhelmed, not because life is that hard, but because their mental dashboard is a mess. Everything is in their head. Tasks, ideas, frustrations, goals, projects, and nothing's organized. So, first thing up this weekend, build your personal operating system. No, I'm not talking about some fancy app. I'm talking about structure for your brain. You can do it a number of different ways. Some people might use Notion or Evernote. You might use Google Docs. You might even use pen and paper. Doesn't really matter. Personally, I'm a big fan of using the Notes app on the iPhone. I actually will sometimes just push the microphone and I will dictate into it. Or I carry a pad or a small pen and small notebook or journal. I get the ideas down on paper or into the Notes app. So here's what it needs when you do this. Number 1, you want a goals page. You want to list your short and long-term goals, break them into personal and professional, and for some of you may want to do health categories. So what do you want to get done? What are your goals? Then what you want to do, number 2, is create a projects page. Track your current initiatives. What are the 3 to 5 key things that you're actively building or solving? Now, some things get done a lot faster than others, but you need to have what the various projects are. Now, your projects should be rolling up into your goals. It should be understood without saying, but I don't want to make assumptions because you know how I feel about assumptions. You don't want to make assumptions. So that's what I would do. You have your goals, then look at your projects and see how they roll up. Number 3, you want to set up some daily systems. This might be your morning routine. It might be your evening reflection. It might be your weekly reset. Do it and make it repeatable. I highly recommend you think about and write down possibly what it is you're going to do tomorrow. Then in the morning, you review that, do your things, and then review how you did and set up for the next day. So that's kind of how my daily system works. Number 4, you want to create a knowledge vault. You want to capture all the key ideas from books, podcasts, mentors, and stuff you just don't want to forget about. It's kind of, some people talk about the idea of a second brain. There's another term for it. It's escaping me at the moment. But you want to create a set of notes. I tend to keep a little notebook, and I also keep various pages in the Notes app of the iPhone. Number 5, you want to set up a decision journal. This one is very powerful. You want to log your big decisions, what you choose, why you chose it, and what happened. This will train your judgment over time. Again, this is something that's an ongoing loop. Anytime you're doing personal or professional improvement, you're really looking at a loop. Trial and error, tinker, twist, pivot, try again, trial and error, repeat the process. Each time you're going to get a little bit further along. Again, how did you learn how to ride a bicycle? You started with training wheels, then you took one off, then you took both off and someone was guiding you with the bike, and eventually you were off and running. Spend a couple of hours organizing your brain. By the end of the weekend, you'll have clarity, you'll have direction, and you'll have momentum. Now, let's say you've got this kind of thing already going. Hopefully you tweak it a little bit, but let's get into the next thing. You want to learn a high leverage skill in about 8 hours. And I don't necessarily, there are times I'll sit for 8 hours and do something, but I tend to break it up. I might break 8 hours into 2 4s, or I might do, a 4 and 2 2s. But find a system and think about it the way you want to do it. You want to learn that high leverage skill in as little as 8 hours. And a weekend is a nice little package in order for you to do that. Okay? So, here's the thing. Let's shift gears a little bit. Think about how many hours people waste watching garbage content on the weekends. There are various studies out there. 17 hours is the average is what I keep coming back to when I look it up. Now imagine if you just took 8 of those hours and learned something that makes you dangerously valuable. This is how you build real world leverage, okay? Choose a skill, one that can compound, one that can take what you already know and build upon it, and then lead you to something else that you need to know and create those foundational building blocks. Let me give you some examples. You might want to look into communications, for example. You want to learn copywriting, storytelling, public speaking. These are some of the topics that I cover public speaking because, again, it's a very powerful thing for folks that, are looking for an alternative to traditional higher education. You should have public speaking skills. But copywriting and storytelling are very solid skills, and there are some interesting resources that ultimately I will get to and I will recommend. I've been working on my storytelling, and I've been working on my copywriting. There's a little personal insight. In fact, next to me, I have some books right now that I'm reading on copywriting and storytelling. Okay, how about business? You might want to study negotiation, sales psychology, pricing strategy. Part of sales psychology, by the way, you might want to dig into a little bit of consumer behavior because that's where you get into the marketing and sales. It's funny, I've been thinking a lot lately about the idea that digging down a little bit on human psychology might have some very good benefits for people interested in the content of this channel. What am I getting at? Understanding human psychology might help you with leadership, management, understanding your customers, ways to craft and market and sell to your customers. So think about that. You might want to look at digital tools, Excel mastery. I'm personally an Excel expert. I used to do a lot of VBA programming. I really know Excel pretty well. I'm a little rusty lately, but I'm expert status. You might want to learn Power BI. You might want to learn Notion workflows. Power BI, by the way, is like an offshoot of Excel as far as I'm concerned. It was probably one of the things that they were going to incorporate, and they decided to create two products out of it. You might want to learn thinking skills, mental models. Right here on this channel, you're going to find quite a few thinking mental models that you can use. Critical thinking, inversion, creative thinking, strategic thinking. You might want to work on decision making, critical analysis. These are all skills that you can identify and pick up. And like I say, you want to get an understanding. Some of the articles that are already available on this site might be your jumping off point, but don't stop there. Now, here's your game plan. I call it the 4-hour sprint. Okay? You've heard me say this stuff before. I like to do bursts, surges, sprints. Hour number 1, foundation. Watch a few top YouTube videos or podcast episodes, listen to those, and get the big picture. So I will go, actually what I typically start with is I do a little Google searching, then I go and do a little YouTube searching, and then I go and dig into AI, ChatGPT a little bit to get myself a foundational understanding and to start formulating the questions that I think should be asked and need to be asked. In hour 2, you do a deep dive. Find a great article or some course modules and take some notes. Pause and reflect. Think about it. And again, play devil's advocate. Look at it in reverse. Always attack it from a couple of different perspectives. Hour number 3, organize your insights. So this is where you build your own cheat sheet. What are the key concepts? What are the key frameworks? What are the key models? Build a little cheat sheet. Reframe what you've learned in your own words. That helps you absorb it. It's a learning technique. Hour number 4, apply it immediately. Try teaching it. Try explaining it. Build something with it. Run a simulation. Just do it. And then you're going to, through testing and trial and error, you're going to, innovate, and you're going to learn and absorb and possibly come up, as I say, with innovations that lead you down other paths. Then repeat this sprint on Sunday. What's going to happen? By the end of the weekend, you're going to have installed a new capacity that separates you from 90% of your peers. I actually think it might even be higher than that. You're going to come out looking like a different person. I talk about the idea. Weekends can be completely transformative. You can go in with little to no knowledge of something, and you can come out with a good, solid foundation and be able to have intelligent conversations and ask intelligent questions about the topic. Okay, finally, build something real. This is where we move from knowing to doing. And we talk about this in this channel and the MBA Accelerator channel all the time. Learn it fast, but apply it faster. It's great to collect the knowledge, but it's worthless if you don't use it, and then it decays on you. So let's be honest. We all have that stack of PDFs that we haven't read. We have that half-finished course. That good idea that's been sitting on a shelf for years. This weekend, ship something. Finish something. Here are 3 fast ideas. One idea, write a guide or a mini PDF. Put your cheat sheet in a PDF format. Pick something you know well. Might be how you run your team, how you handle finances. Might be how you learned a skill. Write a simple, clear, 5 to 10 page document, format it nicely, and offer it for free or for $5. Use Gumroad, use Google Drive. Hell, put it on LinkedIn. Now you've got proof of value. Here's another idea. Number 2, create a business one-pager. This is good because this is where you help take the complex and make it simple. You synthesize what you've learned. Lay out your idea. Who's the customer? What's the problem? What's your solution? How will you deliver it? What will it cost? Test the idea with 3 real people and ask for feedback. Then iterate. Test it, trial, error, adjust. Do it again. Here's another one. Number 3, launch a micro offer. Offer a simple paid service, a 1-hour coaching call, a resume review. Maybe you're really good at writing resumes. A $47 email writing guide, a Pick My Brain Zoom session. It doesn't have to scale. It just has to ship. Even one sale, that's traction. So you might be asking, why does this work? So we're going to zoom out a little bit. Most people spend their weekends escaping. You're using yours to build leverage. If you're not learning and growing, man, you're dying. That's how I look at it. You need to constantly be upping your game, become better. I don't care whether we're talking personally, professionally, or a fitness goal. Getting out and taking a walk. I'm big into getting my 10,000 steps every day. I like it not only because it helps me physically, but my brain starts to defog, and I get some really great ideas when I'm out walking. And I pull out the iPhone, go to the Notes app, hit the microphone, and I dictate the ideas so that it's there, and I can explore and work on it later. The other thing I'll do on that walk is I listen to podcasts and YouTube videos. I only listen to them, I'm not watching them, but I'm constantly trying to add to my repertoire. You can do the same. You know, the framework for this is really simple, but it's powerful. You want to look at some knowledge, learn something high value. You want to look at the skills of that and practice it enough to create some confidence. And then most importantly, you want to get into application. Build something to prove it. Create something. That's how you're going to change your trajectory. You want to make sure that you are, again, going into the weekend as one person and coming out as another. Someone that now knows some negotiation skills. Someone that now knows how to give a sales presentation. You got to decide what it is you want to learn. And you're doing it one weekend at a time. How hard is that? And it doesn't have to be every weekend. There's sometimes you take off for a little bit. But especially in winter, if it's crappy out and I don't feel like being outside, I hit the books. I watch the videos. I take a course. I do a certification. And you can do the same. This isn't hustle porn. It's ownership. You want to own this. You want to constantly improve. You don't need to be perfect. Well, you know how I feel about that. There's no such thing as perfection. There's only better. You just need to be active. Keep your mind and your body active. Grow, improve. You want to build bigger muscles? You got to lift some weights or do something physically, assertive. You want to build that brain muscle? You got to lift some proverbial weights. So let's wrap this up. Here's my final thoughts on this. Don't let the rain stop you. Don't let the snow stop you. It might rain this weekend. So what? Use it. Rainy weekends are a secret weapon for people who want more. More of what, you might say? Well, could be more control, more capability, more confidence, more opportunity. Don't just lounge around. Build something. Build yourself and build something to prove what you can do. By Monday, you're going to have more than just another Monday. Because you're going to have new things, new confidence. You'll have a system. You'll have a skill. You'll have proof. You're going to have momentum. That's what we do here at Myford University. So we stop waiting, we start building, and we prove our value weekend by weekend. Until next time, go and make something happen. I want to thank everyone for listening. This is the Myford University podcast. I invite you to go and check out the site. You can get a newsletter sent to you if you'd like, which is in a written form, a little shorter. You can look at the blog, longer form, or go and check out the channels. I've got the Myford University YouTube channel, and I've got for those who are really interested in MBA content, the MBA Accelerator channel. Please give us a like and a share. Don't keep us a secret. And remember, learn it fast and apply it faster. We'll see you the next time. Thank you.